Hi, welcome to these instructional videos on the Fifth Tarot. Martin and I are really thrilled to be able to share this information with you and hope you'll enjoy it as much as we do. When you think about divination, there are a lot of types of different divination tools that we have to use. Oracle decks, divination decks, tarot decks. What makes the tarot decks unique in that area is that there's a certain framework or structure within which we work. And so it makes that divination tool very rich and deep and complex when you understand the basic wisdom contained within that framework, within that structure of tarot. So what we're going to do today is start with the Major Arcana. The Major Arcana are these primary archetypal energies that allow us to tap into our subconscious and bring that intuitive wisdom to the surface so we can take a look at it. The Major Arcana, sometimes called the trump cards, describe our soul's journey, the soul's sojourn through life on this earthly plane, spirit into matter, and the life lessons and the things that we encounter along the way. We're going to look at them sequentially today from 0 to 21, although I'd like you not to think of it as sequential. They're actually a continuum, and you can enter in at any point on that continuum, and we continue once you go through that evolution of those Major Arcana, you spiral again to the next layer. So for the purposes today, we're going to start to look at them individually, but by looking at them sequentially and seeing the order, the framework, it helps to give a bigger picture, a greater understanding, so that we're not just memorizing what does this particular card mean, but looking at it in terms of this greater picture and the relationship between the cards so that you have a deeper understanding. And again, just remember this is a framework for the esoteric wisdom and universal truths contained within it that is sort of a foundation that's always there. When we're reading the cards, we're of course doing it from an intuitive level in that moment in response to what the querent's question is about, but at the same time having that foundation underneath that supports that intuitive wisdom and knowing. So the first card we're going to begin with is the Fool card. The Fool is 0. There's no numerical value with it because it represents the all, the everything. And from that point of the all, the everything is where the soul enters into the incarnation on this earthly path. The energy of the Fool is one of wonder and innocence and trust and joy. And it's our soul, the true vibration and energy of our soul on our journey. You can see in this image that the Fool is on the path. It's going up and down the hills, but really we don't know where that path is going, and neither does the Fool. So it's enjoying every moment of that path, every moment of that journey. What's unique about the Fifth Tarot in the rendition of the Fool card, in addition to this basic esoteric principle and truth, is that we see in this version this earthly path and the path from the heavens, the path of spirit and matter coming together, so that we are in fact walking in alignment with our divine blueprint. The second card is the Magician, number 1. And the Magician brings in the conscious awareness. The Magician, as number 1, is a formative principle. It's our ability to manifest through our mental acuity, to bring into awareness the ability to manifest with our intent. So the Fool comes in. The Fool is this connection to the divine, this pure energy that now brings into focus with the Magician, brings it into awareness, our existence on this spiritual and material plane. So the Magician brings in that magic. If you look at the image here, you'll see that the magician is working with all the elements: the fire, the water, the air, the earth, and in the cup here, the aspect of the ether, bringing that all together. He has a rod or a staff of power that he uses to manifest, to bring these energies, the alchemy, all together and to bring it to manifestation here on the earth plane. Next we have the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is our intuitive, subconscious, but higher conscious self as well. The High Priestess is the keeper of the mysteries of the sacred. She is the one who uses ceremony. In this version, we see the High Priestess as a Native American woman. She stands between these two trees here, sort of as pillars of truth, and she's the embodiment of that higher wisdom and intuition and knowing. I'm going to hold her up here next to the Empress, which is the card that comes next. Both of these are aspects of the sacred feminine. Here we see the dark feminine, and here we see the light feminine with the Empress. So in this aspect of the High Priestess of the dark feminine, it's that inner wisdom and knowing and sacred that is held in the High Priestess. The Empress brings that information into the light. The Empress is the epitome of the great mother, of the great goddess. She is creation, growth, abundance, unconditional love, beauty, light, grace. We see her standing on the earth here, rooted in the earth. She holds this cape. Her arms are open in a position of nurturing, of love. We see the rose and the deer here, of the flora and fauna of the earth, of all of nature. She is Mother Nature, the one who sustains and nurtures all life. The image of the woman here as the Empress, she's in rather a sheer gown. You can see her naked form underneath. This is also the sensuous, sexual aspect of the feminine energy as well. Over her head is the crescent moon and the serpent, the wisdom energy of the feminine. We see Venus and Taurus as the ruling planet and astrological sign. And so that's our version of the Empress. Companion to the Empress here is the Emperor. So we have the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. All of the sensuality and the growth and the wisdom of the Empress as the feminine energy, we also see within the masculine energy. We see the strength and virility of the masculine energy. What's beautiful about this version or this rendition of the Emperor, traditionally you'll see the Emperor sitting on a throne with a staff, and it's very authoritative and almost a little intimidating. Here we see all this strength and power of the Emperor, but he stands with his arms outstretched. She is the giver of life, the one who births. He is the protector, the guardian of all life. He holds that space in which everything lives and moves and has its being and thrives and grows. So he is the great protector of the masculine energy. In the symbolism here, we see the solar aspect as opposed to the lunar aspect with the Empress. Here we have the solar aspect with the masculine. He is still grounded and rooted in the earth, but he reaches with the branches towards the heavens, towards the sky, towards the sun. There are deer antlers and the crown, again, with that power and authority and wisdom of the divine masculine, grounded and rooted in the earth. What's interesting is to see the next card here. Just like we had the dark and light of the sacred feminine, here we have the light and the dark of the sacred masculine. And just as we had the masculine and feminine with the emperor and the empress, on either side we also have the high priestess and the shaman. Where the high priestess is the keeper of the mysteries of the sacred, the shaman is the one who brings it forward into the community. The shaman is able to navigate both worlds, so to speak. He brings together the wisdom of the subconscious of the high priestess and brings it into the conscious awareness from the higher realms to be shared in the community. There's an aspect of continuity and tradition that is held within the shaman. Here we see a child, an adult, and an elder creating that energy of continuity. And in the same way that the high priestess follows the magician, this energy of that alchemy and that magic that comes by bringing that forth from the subconscious into the surface, or the higher consciousness to the consciousness, the shaman is also one who works within that magic between the realms of spirit and matter, bringing it forth in visible form for the good of the community. So if we look here and we see this masculine and feminine energy of the emperor and the empress and the high priestess and the shaman, this understanding, this coming in of spirit and matter and the conscious awareness of this relationship within ourselves and within the world around us, we come to the next card, which is the Lovers. The Lovers is this integration of the masculine and feminine. Sometimes in tarot readings we look to the Lovers card to come up when we're asking relationship questions, but it is much, much more than that. The energy of the Lovers card is about the vibration of love itself. And in this version we see these three orbs of light, sort of the subconscious, the conscious, and the higher conscious. But what this is representing is self-love, love with another or others, and love of the divine. So that this becomes in perfect balance. If I'm only in this energy of self-love, I can be pretty narcissistic. If I'm only in this energy of love of others, I can be completely losing myself, giving myself away. And if I'm only in this energy of love of the divine, I'm not really interacting here on the physical plane in the world around me. So this complete integration, the marriage of the masculine and feminine within the self, self-love, love of others, love of the divine, or love, lover, and beloved as we talk about it sometimes, is really this beautiful integration that offers that unconditional love. So this is the integration in this sequential order that we see unfolding here, comes this awareness and this integration. As we know of this being the internal soul journey, what happens here at this point with this integration from the Lovers is we move into the next two cards, which are the outward expression, the actionable part of that union. So the next card is the Chariot card. And the Chariot, the energy of the Chariot, is one of alignment with willpower, strength, perseverance, that internal wisdom that is put into action. We see his arm raised here holding an Ankh, and this is our connection to higher consciousness, higher vision, our alignment with that purpose that allows, that brings with it that triumphant, victorious energy and full steam ahead. We see that the chariot is not drawn by anything. It's the charioteer in the chariot willing it forward by his own strength. In the water here are spirit horses and spirit dolphins, which are the guides. Water is also the emotional body. And there's a little skeleton in the corner here, almost trying to reach up and pull him back into the emotional turmoil that is a possibility on our earthly path. But he rises above that and he holds that Ankh victoriously, able to move forward with great strength and perseverance on the soul journey. And complementary to this actionable energy of strength and perseverance moving forward, we come to number 8, the Strength card, which is that inner strength that comes from alignment of this integrated aspect of the self. And here we see a woman. You can see the power center here, whether this is the womb or the Dan Chen, it's the energy here, and the heart, the third eye, and the higher wisdom, all being in alignment. She sits with great strength, firmly centered, grounded. She holds symbols of all the elements, the fire, the water, the air, the earth, and the ether above her. And coming from the womb here, we see this umbilical cord forming that figure 8, that aspect of infinity, infinite strength, infinite wisdom, infinite love. We also see that umbilical cord showing a fetus here in the water. This is a birthing energy of a new sense of self, birthing of dreams, birthing of wisdom. What is being accumulated in this soul journey of the Fool, coming into the understanding here of something about to be birthed from this inner strength. And the Hermit is the one who is bringing forth the wisdom that has been gleaned on this journey. This is a time of reflection, 9 being gestation, fulfillment energy of the Hermit. And here we see the same staff that we saw in the Magician being held by the Hermit. The Hermit, as we can see here, sees his reflection in the water. This is, again, a reflection of what has been understood, what has been brought forth from the subconscious, from the higher consciousness into the awareness that allows the possibility for true wisdom to be understood. The Hermit is also the sage. And it is a time of inwardness, a time of reflection, of that retreat going inward to reflect upon that which has been understood through the experience of the soul journey. What follows the Hermit is the Wheel of Fortune. And here we see the full moon, everything coming full circle. There's an aspect of completion in the 10. We have gone from the 0, the 1 through the 9 to the 10, which is the beginning or the completion of the first cycle. The Wheel of Fortune, when it does appear, is always good fortune, prosperity, longevity, abundance, good things coming full circle. It's a completion energy. Here again we have the energy of the fire and the water, the masculine and the feminine energy here. What's unique about this version also of the Wheel of Fortune is we see here there's the all-seeing eye in the center, which is our fate, our destiny, the guidance from the universe on our path. We also see a man and a woman who have a part in turning that wheel, in creating that good fortune. So it's our participation, our co-creation on our path of destiny that allows everything to come full circle. The 10 is sort of the midpoint here, the turning point from the 10, 0, 1 through 10. We enter into the next cycle with the 11. And so this wisdom that has been gleaned here, if you look, there's a lot of imagery that is bringing masculine and feminine energies, the subconscious and the conscious mind into awareness. This is the shift that starts to happen in the 10, 11, 12, 13 into that higher conscious awareness. So here with the 11, we have the Justice card. Now I'd like to just expand, this isn't our earthly judicial system sense of justice. This is a higher, greater sense. This is universal truth, universal wisdom, the natural order of all that holds all things together in the cosmos. The music of the spheres, so to speak. And so here we see the depiction of the sacred geometry of the Fibonacci spiral or the golden mean, which we see in the curvature of the spiral and the angular depiction of that same sacred geometry. The personification of justice with the scales, everything held in perfect balance, in perfect harmony. And so this aspect of justice as universal wisdom, the universal orchestration of everything, it spirals us up into this greater awareness than what we've been seeing here in our relationship of understanding ourselves and who we are in the world. It moves us into a shift in our perception. And this is what we see with the cosmic man. It's not only what is my place in the world, but what is my place in the cosmos, in this grand scheme of things. And here we see this man, this human, who is hanging upside down by strands of DNA from the earth itself into the cosmos, delving in to that grand expanse of the universe. So the cosmic man brings about that shift in awareness that happens between the 10, 11, and 12 here into a greater awareness of something much greater, much more. We are more than this physical existence on this journey. And so with that realization from the cosmic man, there is a certain death that occurs, a death to our old self, our old understanding, to be able to step through that portal into greater awareness, greater understanding. So the death card is not the Grim Reaper. The death card here shows a being standing in this portal. And in front of it is a reed boat with a paddle. We have everything we need to make that grand journey, to shift our perception as we evolve through our DNA, as we evolve in conscious awareness into higher states of consciousness. It's death to the ego, death to the small self, and stepping into the beginning of the understanding of who we are in the grander scheme of things and who we are as beings of infinite love and light. The next cards that come through, the 14, 15, 16, that follow the death card, after death comes a lot of transformational energy, and this is what we're going to see in the next three cards. We're in this in-between time, transforming from this awareness that we had here in the subconscious and conscious, evolving and transforming into greater states of awareness. So here with the alchemy card is the card that comes next. And we see the platonic solids that are the symbols of all the elements, fire, water, air, earth, ether. In the center of the card, in perfect balance. Traditionally, this is called the temperance card, and it is this aspect of balance and harmony. We see the cups here with the fire and the water flowing between the day and the night. This is an integration of these energies, but different in the depiction. Here we see personified in forms that we can relate and understand to as men and women and human beings. Here we're looking into more abstract concepts, more abstract understanding of these universal energies and what that may mean in our understanding. We see beyond our physicality and understanding as human beings into this magical alchemy that helps to bring into awareness these universal truths, these greater esoteric concepts and metaphysical concepts. And again, with this awareness, or with this transformation, the burning of the alchemy, the turning of lead into gold. Alchemy is turning lead into gold. Metaphorically, that's turning our ego into our higher consciousness. And so here we have the aspect of the shadow. In order to release the ego energy, we have to kind of look into the shadows. What's in the shadow? What's the hidden part? Asking to be transformed, what needs to be brought into the light for that transformation to occur. And here in this depiction of the shadow, we see the face of this person having both the light and the dark. We are both the shadow and the light all the time. It's where do we choose to focus our energy and attention. This is a card of great transformation. Up at the top here is a bat. A bat being one of the symbols of transformation. We see the serpent shedding its skin, the caterpillar on the shoulder turning into the butterfly, all symbols of transformation. The shadow, sometimes we think of the shadow card, traditionally it was called the devil card and brought forward things like greed and jealousy and pride. Those are sometimes ego aspects to be let go that are in the shadow. But sometimes what's in the shadow is our light, our gifts, our talent, the things that we sometimes have fear around being brought into the light. So at any rate, this is a card of great transformation and energy that comes into alignment. The work of the shadow card brings about really great transformation, change and upheaval. We're no longer the same. If you look at the awareness here from this change in perspective of the cosmic man to the letting go, the death aspect, to this blending of energies and the work of the shadow bringing forward, this is a time where you truly are not the same. And so we see the Tower card here as one of great upheaval and transformation. I love this perspective of the Tower card because you are inside the tower. What is the tower? It's the walls we build around ourselves. Our belief systems, our old thoughts, our ideas that hold us in a certain way. And as we allow those to crumble and fall, this awakening to the truth of who we are as beings of crystal light, the transformation of the fire. And as those walls start to crumble and fall, what do we see in the background is this cosmic perspective. The stars that are shining through in the night cosmos as the walls come tumbling down, so to speak. So this Tower card brings about great change, which leads to renewal, hope, promise, the Star card. The next few cards, the 17, 18, 19, on to 21, all involve these celestial energies. The celestial energies representing the higher consciousness. Here in the beginning we had very earthy energies, and then very visible energies, all this transformation, the transformation leading to these more celestial, higher vibrational energies. The Star is a card of hope, but more than hope. It's like a promise, but it's already fulfilled. You already hold it in your hand. with coming through the changes here, the transformation of awareness in the cosmic man, death, alchemy, shadow, tower, that awakening of the higher vibration, we move into these celestial energies with the star followed by the moon and the sun and moving into the universe. So the star card here, what we see is from this awareness, this transformation that comes through the change and upheaval of the tower. And in this crystal, we see ourselves as these beings of light, this awakening that comes. Now we move into this position of the star, seeing all this light energy around. This is the card of higher consciousness, higher awareness, illumination of the path, the dawning of a new light. And here in the stars, we see we are the star in the center here, with the stars coming into alignment, us being in alignment with our true sense of who we are as beings of infinite light and love, and the streams of consciousness that flow from the star in the center. Again, a card of renewal and regeneration after this path of transformation. The next two cards we see are the moon and the sun. The solar and the lunar, again a reflection of the masculine and feminine, but in a higher consciousness, in these celestial bodies, as opposed to here in the Empress and the Emperor. So in this renewal and regeneration that happens with the star card, in the moon card, it's evolution and growth, illuminated by the light of the moon, the fullness of the moon. It is a time of inward reflection, but at the same time, there's some action and movement that's happening here. It's a tranquil, very serene image of the moon. The moon card is that divine wisdom and knowing that is inherent in the magic and mystery of the night, of the moon. And we see these water sprites here in the celebratory dance. The whale breaching, we've gone deep into that subconsciousness, breached the surface of higher consciousness, fully illuminated by the higher vibrations of awareness, of consciousness. With that growth and evolution, we move into the radiant light of the sun, the life-giving energy of the sun. This is card number 19. Here we see not only the life-giving energy of the sun, but the sunflowers in the foreground here. And I don't know if you know this about sunflowers, but they will turn throughout the course of the day as the sun moves from east to west and continue to face that sun. So this is really about us really embracing the divine nature of ourselves and allowing that light to shine. Here we see a crop circle in the center. Again, that life-giving, whirling energy that's depicted in the crop circle there. With the celestial energies now, this higher awareness that comes through the star and the moon and the sun, we enter into this depiction here, card number 20, of realization. And we see here symbolically depicted, the background is the mouth of a serpent. These are the fangs of the serpent. And if you're bitten by a snake, by a venomous snake, that poison will go through the body in an instant. So this realization, it's like being bitten by a snake. It's a realization, an awakening to our true self, self-realization that comes through the star, the moon, the sun, into this realization. Here we see three beings, the child, the woman, the man. This is an integration of consciousness, of the subconscious, the subconscious, the conscious, and the higher consciousness, fully integrated, fully realized, which takes us directly into the universe card. The universe is the oneness with the all that is. It's leading us back to the Fool, back to Source, to the universe, to cosmic consciousness. All of the light that shines here, very reminiscent of what we see in the star card, is the full expression of the higher consciousness integrated through the earth, through the subconscious, what's under the earth, the conscious on the surface, and the higher consciousness. We see this being very transparent, holding this crystal orb of light. Again, this upward ascension of consciousness, ascension of vibration, ascension of awareness, and integration of the human and divine self on the soul's journey, taking us to that next evolution of consciousness. So you can see in the sequential order of the major arcana how they relate to each other. It's not only understanding the symbolism in a specific card, but really looking at the story that's unfolding here, the soul's journey, and these major archetypal energies that we all embody. So what I'd like to do now is to move them out of this sort of linear way of, sequential way of looking at it, and just gently guide it into a circular way of truly understanding how it's all connected. So when we look at the major arcana in terms of this grand, great wheel of life and the conscious awareness that's in a continuous spiraling of awareness and consciousness as we evolve on our soul's journey. Sometimes we're here in our awareness, and sometimes we're here in our awareness. We're all of these all the time. It's just at different points on our journey we're drawing from that strength, drawing from those gifts, drawing from that wisdom as it applies on our soul's journey. And interesting things with the cards in this position, or in this circular formation here, you can take any card. Let's choose the Empress and count 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have the Death and the Empress. When we look at these two cards, they have affinity to one another, or can be complementary energies that can assist us. So here we have the life-giving, birthing, abundant growth energy of the sacred feminine of the Empress, the giver of life, and here we have the Death card. Letting go, allowing for new life to come yet again. So it's kind of interesting sometimes to be able to look at that kind of pairing of energies. I'm going to choose another way of laying these cards out again so we can get out of a linear way of thinking. Let's see how I can do this quickly here. Remember, as we were looking at it sequentially, we were looking at those first 10 cards, starting with the Fool and moving through the Magician, High Priestess, Empress, Emperor, Shaman, Chariot, Strength, Hermit, Wheel of Fortune. And here's where it starts to shift. Through 1 to 10, we've completed this first cycle, and then it starts to shift into another state of awareness or consciousness as we move from into the cosmic man, the alchemy, the shadow, the tower, and then into the celestial energies of the star, the moon, the sun, realization, and the universe, taking us right back to the Fool. So here you can see it's sort of this lemniscate or figure 8, symbol of infinity. Here is another way of looking at the framework of these major arcana cards. Sometimes on our journey it can help to understand maybe I'm having a difficult time in this position of the Tower card, letting those walls crumble. It can be encouraging to look at what's going to come next as this tremendous renewal and hope. Or maybe I'm drawing in order to go through this aspect of the shadow to find the shadow aspect of myself. Maybe I need to draw upon the energy of the sun to shed the light so I can see what's in the shadow. So it's looking at the relationship of these cards, not only what the individual card means. We're going to lay these out one more way here yet to again help us expand our way that we look at the tarot instead of just memorizing what the cards mean. When we look at the numerology involved in the cards, you have the Fool, which is 0, no numerical value, and then we have 21 remaining cards. So if we put those in groups of 7, 1 through 7, let's see, I'm going to have to move this up here a little bit, 1 through 7, 8 through 14, and 15 through 22. We can also look at the relationship of the cards in this way as subconscious, conscious, and higher consciousness. So in this row, we have these primary archetypal energies of the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, Emperor, Lover, Shaman, Chariot, which are inherent and they're in our subconscious, these primordial energies that reside in that subconscious and that we activate and awaken in the consciousness here. And through those energies in this conscious level, we're able to transform and ascend into these higher levels of awareness and consciousness. So something fun to do at one point is to look at a column. So let's say, let's look here at the Cosmic Man. Above the Cosmic Man is the Lovers, and below the Cosmic Man is the Sun card. So in this column here, in my conscious awareness, is my conscious evolving and shifting in perception, which is the Cosmic Man energy. The subconscious, which is supporting that, is this full integrated aspect of self-love, love of others, and love of the divine. This is what's sort of the root underneath the subconscious, the consciousness of the Cosmic Man, and the higher consciousness of the Sun energy, bringing that life-giving energy to support the Cosmic Man. So again, it's another way of looking at the relationship in the Major Arcana cards. So once again, just coming back in kind of a broad overview of these Major Arcanas, within Tarot, within the whole deck actually, within the world of Tarot, the function of Tarot to inspire, to transform, to assist us on our soul journey, to affirm our soul journey, to offer guidance and direction and clarity. We have the wonderful opportunity through the Major Arcana, these primary archetypal energies, in picture symbolism that helps to awaken these energies and the wisdom that they contain within ourselves. So this is our first look here at the Major Arcana. We hope that's provided some insight for you. You can find out more by going to our website at www.thefifthtarot.com. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.